Hey everyone, it's Mr. Bologno here, and thanks for joining me for another art lesson. And I'm standing right by this beautiful mural of Mexican artist Frida Kahlo. We're gonna talk all about her work, look at a couple clips, share a tour, next. I'm in Glen Ellen, Illinois, and right behind me is this fantastic mural of the famous artist Frida Kahlo by local artist Jeff Bevington. This mural was done leading up to the Frida Kahlo Timeless exhibit at the Mack Arts Center at College of DuPage, which is not too far from this mural's location. Before I go over what we're going to do for today's art activity, I want to share a couple of clips that tell us more about Frida Kahlo's life.
Whoa. Dear Tim and Moby, I am doing an art project about Frida Kahlo. Who was she? From Andrew. Well, Frida Kahlo was one of the most important Latin American artists of the 20th century. She was born Magdalena Carmen Frida Kahlo y Calderon on July 6, 1907. Her mom was Mexican, and her father was German. Yeah, it's quite a name. She grew up in Coyoacán, on the outskirts of Mexico City. When she was little, her father encouraged her to play sports, which wasn't common for girls at that time. But at age 7, a viral disease called polio made her very sick, weakening the muscles in her right leg. She wore long skirts through most of her life, in part to hide her leg. While in school, Kahlo witnessed a number of bloody struggles between armed groups in Mexico City. Well, this was during the Mexican Revolution, which gripped the country from 1910 to around 1921. It was essentially a fight for better living conditions for the underprivileged. Because of her experiences in Mexico City, Kahlo became a strong supporter of peasants' rights. Later, in 1925, she was in a bus accident that fractured her spine and pelvis, dislocated her shoulder, and caused other terrible injuries. She was hurt so bad that she could never have children. To relieve the boredom of recovery and to help deal with the pain and sadness of the accident, she began to paint. In her paintings, Kahlo really explored her identity. In fact, 55 of the 143 paintings she completed were self-portraits. Her work deals with her status as a woman, her mixed ancestry, her turbulent marriage to Mexican painter Diego Rivera, the pain of her injuries, and her commitment to revolutionary politics. Many people consider her paintings examples of surrealism, since much of what she painted was fantastical, but Kahlo never considered herself a surrealist. Well, she didn't really have a thick mustache like that. But she always painted herself with one, maybe to criticize traditional standards of beauty or to explore her experience of being a woman. Kahlo's work is unique because she took the bright colors and dramatic symbolism of Mexican culture and combined them with traditions from European art. In a lot of ways, Kahlo had an unhappy life. And her final years were filled with pain. She even had to have one of her legs amputated. She died on July 13, 1954, when she was only 47 years old. Her art is filled with sadness, but it also expresses pride in her Mexican heritage and the joy of being a woman. What do you think? Yeah, me too.
If you're thinking about Frida Kahlo, that's because her face and style are known around the world. She's so much more than an enchanting face. So, who was this pop culture icon? Hop on the history machine. Born in 1907, Frida's life was by all accounts filled with medical and personal problems. Among the most painful experiences she went through is a bus accident in 1925. Even though she survived, a handrail pierced through her body, broke her spine, and left her bedridden for some months. Frida started painting after the accident, and since she had to spend long periods of time by herself, her work is mostly made up of self-portraits. In her own words, she was the subject she knew best. This is how Frida became the queen of selfies. Frida fell madly in love with Mexican muralist Diego Rivera, with whom she began a long and passionate on and off relationship, rooted in care and admiration for each other. Together, this mismatch conquered every art scene it visited. In spite of undergoing more than 30 surgeries, Frida remained joyful in spirit. When one of her legs was amputated due to a gangrene infection, she wrote in her diary, "Feet, what do I need you for when I have wings to fly?" Her style and work became known for expressing femininity, Mexicanness, strength, and lust for life, best expressed when she said, "Long live life." This is how she went from painting symbols to becoming one herself.
Now that we learned a little bit more about Frida Kahlo's life, we're going to take a closer look at one of her self-portraits called The Frame. Google Art and Culture has a fantastic feature on this artwork. Frida Kahlo bought this reverse glass painting from a market in Oaxaca, Mexico. She then placed a self-portrait, which was painted on a sheet of aluminum, into this reverse painted glass frame that was originally intended to house a mirror, photograph, or religious image. The self-portrait was the preferred style of this artist, despite her inspiration coming from her physical suffering or romantic passions. She nonetheless wears the same expression in all of her self-portraits, that of a strong woman. Frida Kahlo typically liked to adorn herself with accessories in her self-portraits, but here she can be seen with a single type of flower and a single ribbon in her hair. It is the reverse glass painting that really frames her face here, hence the title of The Frame. Flower arrangements and birds are recurring themes in Mexican folklore. Frida Kahlo uses these a lot in her paintings, but this time she has enhanced the local traditions with her portrait, and not the other way around. Over time, the varnish has deteriorated, and this has uncovered more of the portrait, originally hidden under the floral decoration. A lot of the decoration has disappeared, which has resulted in the opposite effect to that sought by Frida Kahlo. Alright, now we're ready to start our self-portrait with decorative Kahlo-inspired frame art. First step, take a selfie with your iPad. I mean, you need a picture. Step 2, decide on an art app to use. Many art apps give you the ability to use layers and create symmetrical designs. These are the two key elements that should be used in your artwork. I'll share how to do this with two apps that are in the student portal, Art Studio and Autodesk Sketchbook. I'm going to first share how to do this on Art Studio. So go File, Import from Photos, and then select your photo. Once your photo pops up, you could adjust the size by going to Edit and Transform Layer. And I'm making it a little bit bigger. Then go to Edit, find the word Symmetry, choose the vertical option, and you'll see that dotted line where it's the line of symmetry. So whatever I draw on one side will automatically show up on the other. Oh, I almost forgot. We need to add another layer. So go to the layer stack, which is next to the heart on the bottom left-hand corner. Click on the plus sign, and then make sure you have a layer above your selfie. This is the time now where you can design any frame with any shape around your photo. Once that shape is completed and closed off, go to the bucket fill tool and then click on the outer part so that it doesn't cover up your picture. The white on the spider leg shape I made bugs me. Get it? Bugs me. So I'm going to add another layer. Click on the spray paint tool, choose black, and then I'm just going to fill it in so that none of the white shows. Once you're done with these first steps to your frame, don't add anything more. Take a screenshot and then send it to your art teacher on Seesaw. It's now time to share similar steps that you could do on the app Autodesk Sketchbook. On the top menu bar, you're going to have to scroll to the right and find the Share Image button. There I find my selfie, and then it places it right there on the first layer. On the right, you will see the layers, so I will click on the plus sign, and then another layer pops right up above my photo. On this app, The Symmetry tool is right in between the ruler and the Add Shapes button. Once that's set, just like on the Art Studio app, this is your chance to make any shape you want that frames your photo. Just make sure not to cover up your face. For my frame shape, as you can see, I'm sticking with a theme here, and that theme is Spider-Man's logo. You could do anything you want though. This app has a bucket fill tool as well, and you can find that at the top. After a few small adjustments to my frame, once I'm happy with it, I'm ready to take a screenshot and send it to Seesaw. Well, that wraps up part 1 of our decorative frame self-portrait. Frida and I would like to thank all of you for joining us. Remember, kids, don't forget to send your progress to your art teacher on Seesaw. And if you have any questions at all about any of the steps, they would be happy to help you. All right, take care. We'll see you next week when we finish this up. Bye.